Hello guys, this is your channel Eat&Code, and today we are going to learn about Docker. Here is the intro. What is Docker? In simple words, Docker is a technology which is basically an open source platform which is used to develop applications. Okay, it uses container. Docker is a company and it uses the underlying technology behind that is container. So we must, in order to understand Docker, we must understand what are containers. Basically, if you know about virtual environments or like VMware, sometimes when we want to use Windows and Ubuntu along with it, what we do is we download some virtual environments or set some virtual environment like Ubuntu, okay, like Kali Linux, like Debian, and we can use Windows as well as Linux with it. But this is what uh, this is what this is virtual machine. In If you have set up it sometimes, you can you should know that you allocate like 20 GBs of space, which is most probably not needed, okay, in order to run a single application. Here is where comes container. In container, what you do basically, if you want to run an application, okay, an application must need some dependencies. So for example, it might use Python, it might use like Node.js, it might use some databases application like MongoDB. So basically, in containers, you download the software, but along with it, all the dependencies which is needed is also downloaded, and there is a separate environment in which your software runs. That is called the container in which your software runs, and all the dependencies. It has an environment. Okay, it never consults with outside of the environment, outside of the container. This is basically what container is. Okay, the next topic is how the container is discovered. Okay, before jumping onto the next topics, I would like to share a little story about how the Docker was invented or discovered. So basically, there was a man whose name was Solomon Hykes. He was working on some project, and he found that the tools which were available at that time uh, for deploying or developing applications were not that good. So basically, he, along with his team, went for working on the project, which was later named as Docker. I think in 2013, of March of 2013, the first version of Docker was released, and the rest is the history. Okay, there are some concepts which is regularly used in while when you work with Docker. So we should discuss some of them. The first one is Docker image. What is the Docker image? So basically, Docker image is like something. If you are familiar with classes and object, you can think the Docker image with class, and the containers are objects. So basically, in order to make containers, you must have the Docker image. What will you do? You will run the Docker image and you will get the container. This is so simple. You will run the Docker image, you will get the container. So basically, containers are the running instances of Docker image. I'll try to explain the working. Actually, it will be more clear when we do hands-on demo, which I'll show you some moments later. But how it works? Basically, what we do, we can pull some image. Where the image lies in the Docker Hub. Docker Hub is a registry which has many images. Okay, what we do, we pull some image. Okay, we run that image, and we get the container. This is the process. We pull the image from where? From the Docker Hub. We run the image, and we get the container. This is the sequence. And also we can make our own image by a Docker file. Obviously, Docker file are instructions which are used to make an image. From Docker file, we make an image. From image, we run image, and we get containers. This is the whole process of the working of the containers and Docker. If you are on Windows, how can you set up Docker like this? Search Docker desktop in the net, go to their site. This is their site, in which I'm using Linux, so it is showing the Linux, but you should go for the Windows and download the Docker desktop. Docker desktop has everything in order to use Docker and containers. So basically this was the like easiest way to use Docker desktop in your computer. This is the link. Hmm. If you are using some Linux, here I'm using Ubuntu, then here is the step by step process. First, write this command sudo apt install docker.io. The second command is sudo snap install docker. Actually I have downloaded it, so it's not showing it. It is showing that it is already installed, but in your case it will be downloaded. These are the commands. uh, just follow the series of commands and you'll be okay. Sudo docker minus version will give you the version. Sudo docker run hello world. Here what are we doing is basically we are pulling an image which is named as hello world and running it, and it runs successfully. And okay, sudo docker ps will show all the running containers, and ps hyphen a will show all the containers. Mine hyphen a stands for all. And you can see that about a minute ago this hello world image was like uh, created. Hello world container was created, and if you copy that container and try to remove it, it will removed, I think. And this container id is so important in order to get the logs and stop it or remove it. So this is so important. And now if you do docker sudo docker ps hyphen a, you will see that about a minute ago what container is not available.